Welcome to the world of wisdom, serenity, and happiness. Today we are diving into one of the most important topics in terms of Stoic philosophy, excessive kindness. Kindness is one of the noblest of human character traits. It makes our world brighter and better, fills our lives with meaning and joy. However, it is kindness that can become a source of a lot of trouble if you do not know how to balance it correctly. Today we will explore with you, my friend, the 8 dangers that can befall us when our desire to help becomes excessive, and we will learn how to stay in harmony with ourselves while protecting our well-being. If you're up for a deep dive into the wisdom of Stoicism, then let's get started. When doing good, don't expect to receive it in return. Often we insist that the world conform to our expectations, as if this is the key to happiness. However, it is in this insistence that the source of our frustration and suffering often lies. The unconscious desire to control events and the behavior of others leads to an ongoing cycle of frustration and anxiety. It is important to realize that happiness should not depend on the actions of others. To expect too much from others is to foreshadow potential disappointment. By giving without expectation in return, we free ourselves from pain. Those to whom we give kindness and attention can easily become accustomed to this attitude and expect more from you. When we give kindness in unlimited quantities, people take it for granted, they absorb it, and are sure that we ourselves do not need kindness. The expectation of mutual kindness is most often not justified. And then comes emotional burnout, a person is depressed, upset. In the end comes disappointment, it is not worth doing good, it is of no use, people are not grateful, in return only emptiness and indifference. In fact, with our excessive kindness we ourselves have achieved such an effect. The habit of people to receive good from you all the time. Habit is the second nature, this truth is true for good deeds. The more comfortable our condition, the faster we get used to it, and the more often we want to feel this comfort. People who once needed help and received it will want to receive it again and again, because it is much easier than solving problems on your own. Kind people are wonderful, without them hundreds of thousands of lives would not have been saved, many would have been left alone with their problems, and to what result it would have led, it is not known. But constantly and unselfishly helping others, letting them know that their difficult situation is solvable, you just need to ask, it means letting people believe that someone must always deal with unpleasant situations in which they find themselves, and therefore, you can relax, someone will help anyway. Losing our own priorities. Our kindness must have limits. If we do good deeds for someone, we sacrifice our resources, time, finances, efforts, emotions, directing them to help others. To immerse ourselves in this state indefinitely is to lose our own priorities. When should we live and solve our own affairs when there are so many people around who need our kindness so much? Before rushing to help others, we should make sure that everything is good in our life, we are healthy, we have love and mutual understanding at home, everything is great at work, there are no urgent issues that need to be solved here and now. And only in this case it is possible to offer help to others. It will be more effective if it will be received from a happy and successful person, not a person who is overwhelmed by his problems and who is ready to sacrifice his interests in a burst of good-naturedness. The main condition of kindness is to share what we have in abundance, and we can easily afford it, not to our own detriment. Kind means weak. Sometimes people say about a person not kind, but he is so kind, he will help anyway. This means that people do not perceive a person who unselfishly provides help as strong and generous. They consider him weak and unresponsive, they know that if he is asked or even persuaded, he will eventually agree, because he does not know how to refuse to help anyone. People are very surprised when, accustomed to receiving help from a person always, suddenly hear a firm no. But to object to this almost never cannot, because the arguments and did not come up with in advance, because this person has always agreed to sacrifice himself for them. If you want to be kind, you have to be strong, otherwise people around us will start to push us around. Reprimands in response to refusal to help. Selective help is not about you. Then you risk getting a lot of reproaches from people who used to appeal to you with requests endlessly, and now suddenly received a refusal. Yes, manipulators do not slumber, they are not accustomed to do something themselves, for this there are, kind, people, of which there are many around, it is worth only scrutinizing them. And we, the good people, should take a close look at our surroundings. Perhaps most people proclaim themselves our friends just because we can be of some help to them. Will it be effective help, real goodness? Most likely, it will be an inability to resist a skillful manipulator who takes advantage of the generosity of the soul and a good heart. Therefore, refusing to help, prepare to hear reproaches and irritation from those whom you considered your close friends. The flow of those who need help only increases. There are many people who need help, and such people become more and more around us, if we do not take care of our resources of kindness and positive energy. Like attracts like, people as if feel that it is from us that they can get what they need, and there are more and more of them. It turns out that we ourselves attract such people with our good deeds. But our resources are not infinite. The threat of addiction. How do good people compensate for the lack of resources and energy? They easily fall into all kinds of addictions, from alcohol and nicotine addiction, to gambling addiction, overeating and more serious problems. To be kind means to watch your peace of mind, not to give everything to the end, and then suffer from mental trauma and human indifference, escaping in all kinds of addictions. You arouse suspicion. Being kind is good, but people are not used to believe in the sincerity of the intentions of a person who wants to do a good deed or help completely unselfishly. They begin to suspect him of something bad, to think what is hidden behind his good intentions. People's disbelief often kills the desire to help, because they have to not only do good deeds, but also justify themselves for them, proving to others that they did not want to do anything else but good. How to avoid these dangers? How do you balance the desire to genuinely help people with the dangers of doing so? Here will help 4 strategies that will teach you how to perform acts of kindness without harming yourself. The main focus is on your own feelings. Learning to know ourselves, this will reveal our true feelings and emotions, help us analyze our actions and desires. It is good to write it all down in a diary, so that later, when we reread what feelings we experienced during the day, we can focus on the most important and necessary for us. If we feel discomfort, if we force ourselves to do something against our wishes, we should not force ourselves. Goodness should come from the heart, and if it does not, it is better to give up your intentions. Learning to say no. The most important thing we must learn when doing good to others is to say no in time. We evaluate our abilities and desires, draw conclusions and voice them to people asking for help. If a request seems unfair to us, requires too many sacrifices, we should say no and never regret it. Be kind to yourself first and foremost. It is impossible to do good deeds, disadvantaging ourselves in some way. If we do not feel happiness from what we do for people, if we constantly remember our own problems and unresolved problems, then goodness ceases to bring pleasure. We find opportunities to show goodness first to ourselves, our beloved, because without a comfortable state it will not be possible to give goodness to others. No to communicating with energy vampires. Among the people asking for help, there are many energy vampires. We should immediately distance ourselves from them, because we will get nothing but harm for ourselves. Listening to endless complaints about life, complaining about lack of money, illnesses, and bad relatives, because of whom everything in life falls apart, is a pleasure. And even if we help them, we will receive neither gratitude nor satisfaction, because these whiners and losers only need to dump the ballast of their problems on someone else, and themselves to free themselves from this heavy load. And do you need it? We try to find a balance between our needs and the desires of others. We share only what we have in abundance, we do not help everyone indiscriminately, and act only after a deep analysis of our feelings and capabilities. And then the real good will definitely return to your life, making it happy and pleasant. My friend, if our conversation resonated with you, don't forget to share it with your friend. And I would love it if you write me a comment. Peace of mind and wisdom to you on your life's journey. I won't say goodbye to you for a long time. See you again.